What if it was possible to have local, fresh groceries delivered right to your door? Think of all the free time you'd have. Well, Instacart gives unlimited grocery delivery for one low monthly fee. Forgot that special ingredient in your favorite dish? Instacart can deliver it to your front door in as fast as 1 hour. You can shop multiple stores, see deals in your area, and save time and money. I've been using Instacart for over 3 years. I started using them in Arizona, and I'm using them here in Florida. I love the time-saving convenience. They pick the freshest products, and they keep my eggs safe too. To receive your first delivery free, follow the link in the show notes so that Instacart knows that we sent you and to help support the show. Instacart. Never step foot in a grocery store again. Welcome to Empowered Within, a soul-quenching, transformational podcast that will set your soul on fire through candid and inspiring conversations. Leading experts, celebrities, healers, and I share our journeys of how we've overcome challenges to living an empowered life from within. I'm your host, Jennifer Pilates. Welcome to another episode of Empowered Within. Welcome to the show. I am excited to have with us today Gael Wood. She is an author, multi-passionate entrepreneur, former massage therapist, and homeschooling mom. She aims to encourage and inspire women to go after their dreams and reach their full potential. Gael has been inducted into the World Massage Hall of Fame and worked with entrepreneurs from all over the world. In 2019, she completed her certification as a feng shui consultant. Gael has written 15 books and ebooks. She's created over 50 online courses and programs, including subscriptions and memberships. Gael believes that you can create anything you desire through daily habits, clarity, and inspired action. Welcome to the show, Gael.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So let's go back to where it all started. What inspired you to go for your dream?
Well, a few years ago, back almost 10 years ago, I was busy working as a massage therapist. That's what I had done at that point for about 17 or 18 years. And as the mom of two, a high schooler and a preschooler, and working that hard, I just felt myself getting more and more stressed out and burnout. And I was just like, I don't want to feel like this. I don't think it has to be this way.
Right.
And I started seeing really on my Facebook feed, like women that were publishing ebooks and teaching online courses. And I just thought, you know what? I think I would like to do that. Seems like something that would be great just to have a little extra income stream. Maybe I could cut back my hours at work and be a little less stressed. And so I just started a blog and went step by step, but it has turned, into way more than I ever could have dreamt at that point.
Right, truly. So what has inspired you to write your two incredible books, which you sent me? Thank you so much. I've enjoyed them so much. Designing Your Dream Life Workbook and The Gratitude Habit Journal. Both books I find to just be incredible, so well written and so filled with value.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so the gratitude habit came about. I actually started writing that book right kind of at the beginning of the pandemic, where I was struggling because I had just opened a new feng shui business here in my town. I had to close my business. Suddenly my son was home with me all the time. I didn't know what direction I was going anymore. And I remembered, I was like, another really hard time in my life where I used gratitude to pick myself up and take myself out of that kind of defeatist mindset and, being able to cope and be happier and take steps forward. And I thought, you know what, I bet this would help people right now at this time if I could share this process that I went through. And so really that book is just about trying to find the gratitude in things that really you're not very grateful for.
Yeah, I love the twist that you have on the law of attractions with both the books. I think it's really great. There are some really key points that, I think one of them was like talking about the season that you dislike the most. What is it that you dislike? And here before we went on, we were talking about how it's 90 degrees here in Florida. And so I was like, it's hot. I'm hot. Yeah. Like, I'm tired of being on. I thought it was great. It was, and you ask other impactful things that I haven't thought of. I've designed my work week, but never have I gone down to desire my perfect day.
Yeah.
Which takes it a whole nother step further. Where did your creative process come when you were writing the book?
Yeah, so that's another kind of process that I went through I've been really kind of my entrepreneurship journey. You start digging into all of these different things because to be an entrepreneur, you have to dig deep a lot. You don't know if it's going to work. You don't know if you're going to make any money.
Right.
And so, doing these kind of exercises is really helpful. And I've done the Designing Your Dream Day multiple times in different programs that I've taken. And I just found it to be really helpful because we often think that, to be happy, I have to have all of this stuff that I don't have normally.
Right.
And we often think of our perfect day as like a day when we're on vacation at the beach or, somewhere that we've been wanting to go for a long time and we're not doing our normal routines. But what's your dream day with all your normal routines? Mm-hmm. Like just a normal day. And for a lot of us, it would be like not having to set an alarm clock, like really simple things. Having your house clean when you walk out of your bedroom in the morning so that it feels peaceful and lifts you up. And so getting really clear on those things, then you can start putting in systems to help yourself.
Mm-hmm. Who have been your biggest inspirations along the way?
So I would say for business, definitely Katrina Ruth. She's one of my business mentors. Dr. Wayne Dyer is kind of I call him my dad.
He is a good dad.
Anytime I'm at all stressed, I'm like, I just need some Dr. Wayne Dyer. Mm-hmm. I put in my earbuds and he's always just like a reassuring dad telling the same stories over and over.
Yes, that is such an incredible example of him.
Yeah. And I mean, just so many. I read every day. I listen to audiobooks all the time. So if more pop into my mind, right? I'll bring them up.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know it's always helpful to know what has inspired you along the way, especially with your books and your ebooks. And I'm curious, do you have a favorite, like a genre way? Like, do you prefer publishing? Do you prefer the ebook route? Do you have a favorite there?
Yeah, I really like self-publishing and just selling my own books off my own website. Mm-hmm. And that's how I started out with my first business, Massage and Spa Success, because I didn't really know any different. And, had it been at a different time, I might have gone with Amazon. But the great thing about selling books from my own website is then those people are on my email list and they're buying from me. And so I get to keep selling to them.
Right.
So it was kind of maybe a mistake that I made, but it was a really good one.
Yeah, I think it's a phenomenal lesson there to be learned. So for someone out there who's saying, wow, that sounds great, but I don't even know where to begin. What advice would you give to that person?
So this brings me back to, I thought of another mentor as you were talking, but James Altucher is somebody who I follow, and especially his theory of idea generating. And we all are just full of ideas. And so that's where I would start. And just what do you know more about than the average person? Mm-hmm. What do you really love to do or talk about? It could be your hobbies. It could be things that you've just really gotten good at throughout your career. And then, you're further along than some other people, so you can help them, on their path.
Right. And pull them forward. Now, in your writing process for your books, are you writing and editing yourself and then finding the way to self-publish?
So I've done a combination of different things. My first books, I wrote myself, and then I would just have like a friend or family member, can you read this and tell me if there's anything really bad? Or any obvious glaring mistakes.
Right.
So that's what I did for my first probably 5 to 7 books. And then, as you move along, you can get more support and more help. So now I do have an editor who's really wonderful, and she did the 6 books that I wrote last year. And I always tell her, thank you for making me sound so smart.
Right? That's amazing. 6 books in 1 year. Oh my goodness. Now, are all of your books in print and available in ebooks as well on your site?
Currently, I only have the 2 books I sent you in print.
Okay.
And the rest are in ebook form on my site. So I've got Decluttering Your Beliefs, Decluttering Your Schedule, a book about facing your fears so that you can take action. And then I've got a book that is on idea generating for entrepreneurs.
Wonderful. That's so exciting. And they're all right there on your website. That's incredible.
And I hope to get more of them in print. That's a big project.
Yeah, I would say, what's that process for someone going, well, yeah, I don't get ebook, but I get self-publishing. But how does that process, what does that look like for you?
Well, it's really, for me, it was about getting the right people to help me because, designing the ebook cover, I'm not talented at graphic design. That is not something I want to do or can do. And then formatting the inside pages is another thing that, I just needed to outsource.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a really great person helping me at that time who was able to do both of those books. And then she's moved on to do other things. So I'm just a little bit paused.
Well, that's okay. A pause gives you time to write another book.
Yeah, finding the right person. I would like to get my other books in print. And I think that'll happen when the time is right.
Mm-hmm. When the time is right. And what is that process when you're like, okay, you've got your book down and now I'm going to self-publish and go to print?
Yeah.
Sounds easy, but I don't think it is. Is it? Are you ready to lose inches, increase strength, and tone your body from head to toe? Are you ready for a total body, mind, and spirit transformation? I am excited to announce that I am launching my exclusive 8-week Pilates Return to Life training program. This will give you an opportunity to have a total body, mind, and spirit transformation of health and wellness to a new lifestyle. Imagine in 7 days you will feel a difference, in 14 days you will see a difference, and in 8 weeks you will have your new Pilates body. So what do you say? Want to join me on the mat? Head over to jenniferpilates.com today. Space is limited. Use this special promo code EW and the word special, EW special, to receive $200 off while space is available. Head on over to jenniferpilates.com and I'll see you on the mat.
I mean, the steps are very easy. The mental part of it is a little bit harder because, I just have all these voices in my head. Like, who are you to think you can write a book? You're not a real writer. You're not a real author. So I think that's the hardest part of it is saying, you know what, I'm going to do this in spite of all my doubts and put myself out there, and people might leave bad reviews. And it's just scary.
It is. And thank you for sharing that because it's so authentic. And I'm sure everything that you just said is exactly what so many of our listeners are thinking. And how nice is it to see someone who has so many books out there already, feels the same way, and she keeps charging forward.
Yeah. And, it's like anything. Some people are going to appreciate you and like your stuff, and some people aren't.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the daily habits that you employ to keep you going, to keep you on that positive path?
Really, I have just kind of some routines for my business and creating my content and things like that. So each day I write either for a book or I write a daily piece of content. So like a blog post. And that's about 30 minutes a day. And if you do that consistently, that is all it takes really for the writing piece of it for what I want to do. And then just keeping myself inspired each day, doing a little journaling if I get stuck, things like that. So I do get up pretty early. I try to get up around 6 and just spend a couple hours just getting myself ready for the day, physically, mentally. So I think it's about figuring out, what do you want to have in your day? What are the important pieces that are going to move you forward? And then looking at, okay, how can I make sure I get these things done most days?
That's
Because
great
we all
advice.
have days we get off track and we're like just not feeling it, too tired. And then for me, that's a matter of going, all right, am I making excuses or do I really need just a recharge day?
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. I caught myself on that one yesterday. Yes.
It's a fine
Procrastination.
line.
It is a very fine line. Oh my goodness. When you look back over the success of the books that you've written and your ebooks, what do you think has been your best form of marketing?
My best form of marketing has probably been speaking like I'm doing now, doing summits, interviews, just anytime you can collaborate with somebody else. I find that, you're just going to reach more people
Mm-hmm.
that way. So that being said, I also do advertising. So for many years, I did Facebook ads. And now I'm switching over and testing out Pinterest ads.
Great.
And just so what I love about the books is they're an easy way for somebody to, become a part of my world for less than $10 and check me out. And then once somebody's done that, they're a certain percentage will go on to buy a course or enroll in a group program or take the next step.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's just been a really great kind of foundation to build my whole business, is just starting with the books.
Now, do you do also one-on-one coaching, or is it mostly the group coaching that you do?
Yeah, I do a little bit of one-on-one coaching. So currently, since I'm homeschooling my son, I'm taking just 4 clients. That's about all I can keep up with, because I really, when I'm coaching somebody, I'm constantly thinking about their business.
I get it.
So
I know. I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm jumping into the Google Drive to add things to their folder and stuff. And so it's pretty, you get a lot when you coach with somebody, because you don't just get the time that they're coaching you.
Right. Exactly. There's always the behind the scenes moments because they're thinking about you so much.
Yeah.
Knowing all that you know now, when you look back over everything and how you've pivoted and where you are now, is there anything that you would do differently in terms of business?
Yeah, I would probably charge more.
That is excellent. I hear that all the time when I'm working with clients all the time. That's something that we discuss.
Yeah. And I can look back and see so many places where I didn't know. So I left a lot of money on the table. If I had just, so now it's like every time I put something out there, I just add a VIP option for people that want that higher priced package. So I was thinking the other day about my marketing content clubs that I had for 5 years. And it was a very low cost program. It was a subscription and you got a monthly package of marketing content. And, I had around 3,000 people go through that program. And I thought, Gail, if you'd had a VIP option that 10% of people took, that was an extra $199. It's like $250,000 I probably left on the table by not just offering like, hey, now that you're signed up for the marketing content, if you want to do a one-on-one with me to get started, let's do that, And that was partly that the tech, maybe I didn't know how to set it all up when I was first starting out. And then that was also me kind of being like, oh, am I allowed to charge that much?
Sure. Yeah, that's.
And then with one of my highest values also being time freedom and just freedom in general, kind of that fear of, oh gosh, I'd be just overscheduled and I'd have to be in meetings all day. And I didn't start my business to do that. But I think I could have structured it in a way where it would have been really fun for me. And maybe said, well, I'll just do these on Mondays and Tuesdays. And that way I can offer it. So I think that, when you run into something like that and you're like, well, I'm not going to do this because, I'll be overly scheduled. Well, question that and be like, well, is there a way I could do this and not leave all this money on the table and still have it fit with the lifestyle I want to have?
That is excellent advice, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that have that same sentiment of, geez, I'd like to do that. And right now I don't say there's conflict, but there's a little bit of grumbling out there in the world between private coaching and group coaching. And where do you actually get the most value? And I say it really comes down to the individual and how you learn. Like, I know I learn much better one-on-one. I can go in a group, but I don't get the value because I just, the one-on-one I can get in and get out. And other people are like, oh, I love groups. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I'm not super into group coaching for myself. Now, if I just want the program and it comes with group coaching, then I'm like, okay, cool, that's good. But just to do a group coaching program, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, no, me neither. I've learned that lesson. It's an expensive lesson that you can learn, by the way, over the years.
There are many expensive lessons.
Yes. So what do we have to look forward from Gael?
So currently, I'm launching a new program called the Monthly Challenge Club. And that is going to be my new low-cost subscription. And so that is just setting yourself up to do fun monthly challenges so you can create habits that really build the life that you want. So one example I like to use for that is like 20 years, I've been like, I should do yoga. I want to be a person who does yoga. People who do yoga just seem so healthy and they look so good. And I would, every new year be like, this is the year I'm doing yoga. I go buy some DVDs or sign up for something. And then a couple of weeks later, I'm not doing any yoga. So I dug in and I was like, how much yoga could I commit to each day before I weasel out of it? And I came up with 10 minutes a day. And I said, I'm just going to try to do 10 minutes a day for 30 days. And it was great. And I'm still doing it. It's been 3 months now. Okay. So it's just how can we knock down those barriers that we're setting up for ourselves and start to make those little gains? So because it could be 10 minutes a day of writing. It could be 10 minutes a day of meditating. And then I'll have other challenges like what I'm kind of working on right now is the get out of your comfort zone challenge. Anything, have more fun. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get so serious. You're like, try to have a little fun everyday challenge.
Oh my gosh. I realized that. Well, one of the blessings in this last couple of years was that we've all been home and you think your schedule is yours, but I realized because I always kind of had worked from home anyways, I was doubly working from home.
Yeah.
And what I realized, and I'm wondering if you came across this too when you're writing and such, how at one point I had a good, healthy work-life balance, but all of a sudden it was just work. I wasn't enjoying my environment. I wasn't even attempting to go out. What was I going to do? But I would go for a walk and I would work and walk and work and walk. And that was my lifestyle and Hallmark movies thrown in. But that was it. And
and we need a little more variety than that, don't we?
Right. I realized that the other day. I'm like, oh my God. Well, actually, I'll tell you what happened. I was working through your workbook and I was sitting here and one of my things was, you always want to live waterfront. I want to live waterfront. No lie, Gael. I turned to my left and I looked out. There's water. There's a huge lake. And lesson to self. Okay, it's not the ocean, but this is waterfront living. I've been living waterfront for 2 years and trying to manifest waterfront living.
Oh my gosh. Can you just imagine your guardian angels being
they're like, hello. Not only that, I have these huge, beautiful water fountains where every day when you walk out, there's a rainbow.
Oh my
every
gosh.
day. And so it was in something that you wrote. And honestly, it's not like I haven't shared this with my own clients. Sometimes what we're asking for comes to us, but because we're so focused on what we think it should look like, we miss it. Oh my God, I've missed this for 2 years, 2 straight years. Yeah. Didn't acknowledge that I lived waterfront.
Waves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's something, I've been doing with I want to buy a house at the beach. We all have we all want to be on the water, right? And then when I dug in, I was like, but what I really want is just to be able to go to the beach whenever I want to. And I work from home and I make enough money that I can pretty much go on Airbnb and rent a beach house if I desire to. So it's done.
I love that because right there, not only have you shared an incredible dream and the outcome, but you've also given someone else an opportunity to go, oh, wait a minute, I could do that.
Yeah.
I can absolutely do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus I get to see different beaches.
Different beaches.
check out different houses. So now when I go, I'm like, well, I'm just testing out houses to see which kind I like best.
I think that's brilliant. So you're manifesting more, you're manifesting bigger while you're getting your dreams at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, and that's like, and we can all call in those qualities. And I thought another thing that I really want from living at the beach is I'm in the mountains in North Carolina and I have like, I'm always, I have like cold hands, cold feet. I'm like, oh, I just want to be warm. So I bought a sauna.
Oh, okay, everyone. Gail just went out and bought a sauna because she was cold. I love it.
And I got it on Facebook Marketplace. I got a great deal.
Stop. What?
And I'm like, now I can just be warm. And that also took the edge off feeling like, I got to get the beach house. I got to get the beach house, because it's really that I just am frustrated with being cold and I don't have to be cold.
No. And now you're detoxing. So now you're healthy. You're healthy and warm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and then another one, and I think this was in the book too, but another one that I did was, like you said, I like to get out and walk every day. And that one of my favorite things is to walk down the beach for a couple miles and walk back and, listen to my audios or whatever. But there's a lot of days here it's too cold to walk and you'd be crazy to be out there. So we got a treadmill, and it's one of these iFit treadmills, and I can put on the beach programs, and okay, it's not the same, but it's also great.
That is in the book. And I remember reading that part because I was like, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, they're really fun. And it gives me some of that same quality. And one of the best things about going for a walk like that is, when you move your body, your juices get flowing, and it just affects you on every level. So I can still get the same outcome. Mm-hmm. I don't get the ions from the ocean, but
right. But we could make our own salt water and spray it on you afterwards.
Yeah.
We could do that. We could get creative.
You turn a closet into a salt room.
Oh my gosh, another brilliant idea. I love it.
So it's really fun, to figure out like, okay, I have this big dream. I think it comes in this kind of package, but then break it down and you can get really creative.
I think that's really cool. So Gail, when you look back over the years, what is your biggest aha moment that comes to you in life and business?
Okay, so one was definitely the night I sold my first ebook, and I had spent about 6 months putting this ebook together, and I had a small email list I'd built up by that time, and I sent it out like, it's here. It's $19.95. It was a PDF. And first of all, I was just like, I can make money from PDFs. Isn't that kind of like selling nothing? Like, I
love it.
Take the thoughts from my brain and make PDFs and make money. First, that's just kind of mind-boggling. And then we were driving up to Ohio for Thanksgiving. And I had my phone and I checked my email, and I had sold an ebook for $19.95. And I just remember thinking, if I can sell one ebook for $19.95, I can sell 100, I can sell 1,000. And it just made me really feel like the sky's the limit with this. Now, that being said, it's not easy to sell 1,000 ebooks, but it is possible. And the other one was probably just reading a little book that said you can sell stuff before it's done. And I sold my first marketing boot camp, a 30-day boot camp, without any of the content made. I just knew what each of the 30 days was going to be. And the day before, I would create the content, I would make my video, I would make an audio, and then the next morning I would email it out. And it was just that's how I've created almost everything since, because most of us need that kind of pressure to get the work done. And I knew that the 25 people that had signed up were waiting for my email the next morning, and I would not let them down. And so there were nights that I would, bring my son home from wrestling practice at 8:00 at night, make dinner, and then go in my little office and make my content for the next day so it would be ready to go, or get up at 5 a.m. and make the content for that day.
That's brilliant. You're my kind of girl. That's how I am. I am really good under pressure. But if you're like, we'll give you $1 million to write a book in the next 2 years, I'm like, see you in 22 months. Like, right? Like,
when you put that kind of pressure on yourself. And then I had a 30-day course created, and I sold that for years. Like, it was on my website. People bought it for years and years. And a couple of times I revamped things.
Sure.
And like put out new versions of stuff. But, you know, so we really can overcomplicate things.
Oh, tremendously so. So may I ask, the first challenge, the one that was so amazing for you, what was that challenge all about?
It was for massage therapists who needed to learn how to market themselves and just get more clients in the door. So that was just based on my years of running my massage business and my spa and all the things that had worked for me. And what I had a lot of people say over the years is, oh, like, this is not as hard as I thought. Like, I kind of just take like marketing talk and translate it into massage therapist talk.
Yes, I resonate so much. That's what I do for a lot of the health and wellness studios and the Pilates studios, because I always say we can be so good as a practitioner and we're so amazing and we're so creative. But when it comes to the other side, you might even be a little okay at it, but you don't necessarily have the time to put your mind there. And that's okay.
Or these books and courses are throwing terminology that you don't really understand. And then you're like, well, I don't know if I could do that. And then it's simpler.
Right. Do you ever I find so many people that come to me and they're like, I don't know my niche. And I'm looking at their website and I'm listening to what they're saying, and it's completely obvious to me on the outside.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm baffled that they don't realize what's at their own front door. And sometimes we get in our heads and we make things so complicated, and they don't need to be.
Yeah. And that was one of our first steps is, okay, let's identify your ideal clients. Because if you know who your ideal clients are, you can figure out where they are, and you can just take your marketing straight to them.
Right. Isn't that simple? What would you say to someone out there listening now? I feel like someone has this thought like, okay, I don't know my ideal niche, or I think it might be women, and I don't know, maybe they're like 30 plus or something like that. I don't know where they are. Maybe they're not where I go. What would you say to that person who comes to you?
Well, most of us do know. I think we do know our ideal clients pretty well, because they're usually similar to us in some way. But you could find a group of these people and ask them. You know, go on Facebook. I'm in a local moms group. And if I, wanted to know, like, okay, where are the moms that are 15 years younger than me hanging out, just ask them.
Right. It's that easy. Again, we overcomplicate things sometimes.
Yeah. Or just put yourself, one thing I like to do is say, just put yourself in this person's shoes for a day and think about where they might go. They'll probably drop their kids off at school. So you can also do like kind of a day in the life of my ideal client. Just think of all the places she might go. Is she getting her nails done? Is she stopping by the grocery store? So.
Right.
And they can even expand that out. Like, well, over the course of a month, maybe she takes her kid to the doctor, and just really do brainstorming. I love just idea storming and brainstorming.
It's so great. And there's so much that can come in from it, because you may be focusing on one project, but then all of a sudden you have 3 more creative ideas for new projects based off of just that one.
Yeah. And that's one thing you asked me about some of my influences, and James Altucher, did I already say this? Came to mind with his idea generating system. Every day come up with 10 ideas.
I love that. Now, where did you find him? I'm curious.
Oh, so I actually was taking an online course, and the lady teaching the course was like, oh, I got this from James Altucher. So I'm like you, and I'm like, okay, I got to look him up, because I like to just going up to the different people. And so he's got probably 5 or 6 books on Amazon. And one is called Idea Machine. And it's just a fun, quick read about, he's somebody who made a lot of money in tech and then lost all his money, and then made a lot of money again and then lost all his money.
Oh my gosh, how stressful.
But he used the idea generating kind of like I used the gratitude. It like got him out of a very low place. Since he started with like, well, what are 10 things I could do today to like get out of the house?
Sometimes you need that. Yeah. Especially now, just to get out of the house, to make new routines. Yeah. Something simple. I'm on a new walking route. I'm so impressed. 3 days in a row, new walking route after 2 years.
Oh, I know. It's so easy to get in a rut. Like I just neighborhood loop I do. And so I do. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go down and walk around campus and like see the college students, like get out of my loop.
Yes, exactly. No, I've been doing the same thing. And I'm like, oh, look at new birds, new water, new people that are walking by. Yeah. I mean,
same people every day. They got their dog. I got my dog.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. It's time to branch out now. I think we're allowed to do that now. Definitely. Well, Gail, this has been so much fun. We are at this time in the show where I ask this one special question. Are you ready?
I guess so.
What is one thing that no one knows about Gael Wood?
Oh, that no one knows.
Or almost.
I'd say most people probably don't know that I dropped out of high school. And I think that's kind of unexpected. And everybody was like, oh, well, your life is over now. I was like, no, it's not.
I think that's amazing.
I didn't want to be there. And that was my first, now that I know like my own personal core values, it makes so much sense. But it was something that for many, many years, I was kind of down on myself about like, oh, I dropped out of high school. I didn't finish college. I just went to trade school. And so who am I to teach courses? Who am I to write books? And it was really something I had to, work on getting over and being like, yes, I can still do this stuff.
Yeah, I think that is an incredible share, knowing everything that you've been through and how far that you've come. And I would say trade school is amazing because these days we need people with trade.
Yeah.
A piece of paper is doing no one any good these days, in my own personal opinion. We really need people.
Now I hear all these like Gary Vaynerchuk and all these people saying that. And but nobody was saying that when I was doing it. So
right. Me neither. I struggled too. Like it wasn't, I don't play well in lines and boxes.
Yeah.
I did it, but I pushed through, but I did I did almost what was expected or what I was just brought up to know. But once I went out and became an entrepreneur, like there was no stopping me at that point. Like you.
Yeah.
Like you. What an amazing share. Well, thank you, Gail. This has been so much fun. Thank you for sharing your journey, your incredible insights and your knowledge. You have been full of value for our listeners today. Will you share with everyone where they can buy your books, get your courses, and maybe try to get on a wait list for some coaching with you?
Come over to my new website. It is called Elevate with Gael, and Gael is spelled Gael. ElevateWithGail.com. You can check out my blog, my shop. I even have a free ebook on my homepage for you as well.
Very exciting. Well, that is amazing. Again, Gail, thank you. This has been so wonderful. Thank you again for being so kind to send your books, which I just have adored and really enjoyed working with.
Oh, thank you so much. And thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. Well, as we say, until next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Empowered Within with Jennifer Pilates. Your feedback is important. It helps me to connect with you and gives me insight into who you are and what you're enjoying about the show. For today's show notes and discount codes from today's sponsors, head over to jenniferpilates.com. Until next time, may you live an empowered life from within.